Let's talk about Radiance farming, the most competitive based currency that we have in game. Trophy tokens, we're kind of a second now to this. So the future with Radiance is always going to be, what are Kabam going to change about this in the future? Is this going to be amalgamating other currencies together, as it is now more available to players? In the first stages, it was that you could only go into the top ends of like Battlegrounds, which you can see right here, where you're getting like the highest amount of Radiance, with the lowest amount being in that early point Gladiator circuit of 12,500. That was hard to get, to a degree. But what is easier now is to acquire Radiance in other areas of the game. Alliance Wars is going to see where the bulk of that Radiance is, and of course working hard to achieve it. Yes, Gold 6 Alliance is where it starts, but at least you're starting to get some. I mean, what we're going to do is bring kind of like just some quick calculations. If you're in a Gold 6 Alliance, which let's face it, there's going to be the lowest end that people are going to achieve is at 15k, 15,000 for, let's just again throw it out there, maybe 12 seasons a year, probably 11, but we'll go with 12. Is 180k Radiance. And you can largely go into the store and go, okay, for 180k Radiance per year, you can pick up something. You may not be able to pick up a lot, but first of all, and the most important thing, is probably a mastery point. I don't think it is completely. I actually think there's going to be other things that players will choose. But a mastery point is quite rare. You don't really get this unless you do Necropolis 100% it. But you can also pick up some rare things. It's interesting, especially from a free-to-play standpoint, because you can start acquiring and adding on things like health potions, level 3 revives, which for a lot of non-spending players, it is difficult to get those particular bits of potions and revives. There are going to be other things that are a bit... I wouldn't even say it's interesting to players, but it's definitely an option. You could be looking to improve your... just get up your progression in general and go for things like tier 7 basics. You can go for tier 6 basics, as let's face it, nowadays, and this is why I'm hesitant. I know I said there was a problem when it comes to tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha, and there is. But at the infancy of Radiance in general, right, where you look to, and I've heard people spend their Radiance on tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha. However, at this moment in time, it is difficult to go. It's a rare resource early on. How you spend it is going to be important of rarity. A rare thing is the tier 4 basic alloy, right? This is very rare to get at the moment without having to spend loads of units in order to acquire it. Yes, there are ways in game to get it, but this is the highest volume to get. I would consider it if I was looking to put up prestige and rank up relics. But again, I'm hesitant to do it because I've just started getting Radiance myself. So you've got to be very, very kind of cautious about it. On the idea of exchanging stuff, this was an interesting thread I read here about where players are going with units. Now, if you're desperate for units, and it's something as well I might consider, through some mistakes with entering into Wheel of Fate without some better options of champions and struggling a little bit, I did waste a couple of revives unit spend. So I'm I'm pulling the brakes on my Wheel of Fate based grind until I pick up Count Nefaria and maybe a 7-star version of Penny Parker, because it just doesn't feel good doing Wheel of Fate, and I'm not gonna feel miserable about anything MCOC related. I'll go, thank you for the content, Kabam. It's not for me. Please do better next time, and I'm gonna move on. You move on and do better things, Kabam. And that's obviously, you could have that stance with it. Otherwise, you just go, well, I'm annoyed. Kabam aren't doing right. I'm quitting the game. It's not really the right attitude to have in that, and also life as well. You try and stick at it and give it a little bit longer. Anyway, would you go for the unit-based, units from that? Because you can get 750 per time. Now, it's not too... As kind of a spend perspective, spending 16,976 Radiance on this isn't too bad. And I might even consider it if I am not going to make certain cuts. So like if I'm not going to make it, if I mess up with my 9.2 fight, then at least I can rely on this to kind of like top me up in the time frame. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my Radiance, but it's definitely something there. And definitely for those that want to do Battlegrounds versus doing arena grind, that's not too bad. You can go and sacrifice probably about 2-3, I'd say 3 rotations of arena, but then is that a month's worth of unit farming versus kind of doing Radiance based farming? It's a difficult line to kind of go what is right, what is wrong. And you can see here a bit of a difference with people. Exchanging Radiance for units, is it worth it? Yes, 75 units are good. No, buy something else. There's a difference of opinion on the matter of kind of it, and it's always kind of interesting to see where people's like takes are with stuff. Spider Knight said 750 units every Battleground season is going to be my top purchase regardless of what other resources I have, as free to play is easily the best value in there. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, players. I'm still kind of like, still hesitant on it. And I think it's down to like what I've got. For 60k Radiance, you can get 3750 units. I don't know. Oh, is that based on like several? We'll have to come back to that. Meanwhile, 56k Radiance, you can get a Deathless piece, which costs 5k units. Well, there's a difference of opinion. You know, I think it's always good to see a difference of opinion on matters. And that's the secondary thing that I want to kind of talk about. Is there was another interesting thread, and again, difference of opinion, but it's kind of like you never know really where it sways. Is spending Radiance on Deathless pieces worth it? I need 7 more. Yes, Deathless Thanos is worth it. No, use that Radiance and other things. You know, 48% to 52%. Still, like yes, there is kind of like one side one, but it's like it's just like a 4% kind of swing. It's like difficult, isn't it? And I've definitely seen good justification to go if you are searching for these particular pieces that you might indeed want to go down there. And that's a catch-up mechanic Kabam did say they were going to do. So those are things that are basically more personable. Do you want to do as much arena farming? Then maybe choose the units and do more Battlegrounds with your Radiance you get at the end. Or don't, because you could scoop an extra amount of units per year. Doing the calculations as well, I did a rough calculation before, but if we do 365 divided by 5, it means you get 10 amounts of the units per year. So 10 times 7,500 per year. Sorry, that's about, no, ignore the calculation. It's 7,500. Put that back into a shot. It's 7,500 units per year additional that you can get. It changes unit farming. I have to do an updated unit farming video because yes, things have changed. Adding an extra 7,500 units you could get for a currency is good. But of course, the grind in order to get that, you still have to spend a bit. And for context on it, if we go back into game and go for the 10, it is going to be a cost of 16,000. So 16,976, I think it is, yeah. Times that 10. That 10 puts you at 169,760k, so 169k of Radiance. But again, you have to make a decision of, is that going to be worth it? If you get that amount, great. I think you can pick it up into, certain players can pick it up, let's just say on average, once every 2 months. But of course, the lower you go down with your AQ and your AW, it is going to take you a longer time. So it could take you upwards of 5 months, maybe at the worst end, to have 169k. But the future is a very important thing as well, because we've got Magik coming in. In this store here, there are some rare items. I will be personally picking up the Mastery Point, and with the amount of Radiance I've got coming in, I probably will hoard first, wait a little while, then spend. But I might buy, if there's a bit of endgame content coming up, I'll probably grab the level 3 revive. I'll probably grab the level 6 health potion and just like top up on my supply. And that can be really helpful to have. The rare items, maybe I'll pick up. You know, maybe I won't. I'm glad Kabam made this more an inclusive currency to get, because even though it's competitive with AQ, AW, if you're already doing AQ, AW, don't like Battlegrounds, or can't have enough time for Battlegrounds, at least you're getting the Radiance through that means. If you're in another situation where your alliance predominantly does Battlegrounds but doesn't do so much AW, then at least you've got that topping you up. Will Kabam buff? Because I did have a question. Someone messaged me about it. Do you think Kabam are going to update their AQ Battlegrounds? I don't think they will do any time soon. However, if they get the cheating under wraps and the farming kind of issues with point farming and the kind of, not collusion, but the stuff that you can do with point farming, exploiting that system, maybe that's the case. But for now, it's going to be the higher volume of Radiance is the further you get up into Battlegrounds as standard, with things like AQ raids, AQ Nightmare raids, and Alliance War Seasons becoming the best places to go in order to get the higher volume. But there's such a difference, isn't it? Like, our Alliance was Platinum 3. That's 75k Radiance that I got from that. If we shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. I think it's always the kind of situation that I kind of say with that. There's some things that didn't go according to plan, but if we were close, and I think that if, yeah, again, shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. There were some instances where, you know, a member of our alliance was banned partway through the season. There was a member that wasn't able to move on one day because of like personal reasons. Could there have been up to Platinum 3? Is that going to make a difference to Platinum 2? So would it have made a difference? Oh, an extra 25k. Well, extra 25k is an extra 25k Radiance. That's covering my units I could get for free for a length of time. You have to look at it, again, point of view. What do you want from Radiance? What are you hoarding for? Is it best to hoard for a length of time, then spend? I personally think that it is. At least you can then use it as a budget and budget your spend. And I remember when I was putting together this spreadsheet and I looked at, like, you know, what you could get in general. We'll probably have to say that 900,000 per year of, because I did say I put it in as a rough kind of like estimate. I don't know why I said like rough. I'm not a dog. But yeah, you can pick up a good amount of stuff. You just have to balance your books and look at the value of things and what you want from it. And kind of creating a budget. Hoard first. Look in the next couple of months. Budget. But be wary. The Magik appearance and purchase elements, which will be in a Radiant store, will be coming thick and fast. So would you, and this is a question I'm going to pose to you, would you save now, or are you going to start spending your Radiance now? I'm concerned about the cost of Magik next year, when she's going to be available to purchase in Radiance, and I'm personally going to be saving my Radiance and seeing about getting the champion. But, and here's the but, we don't know the kit. We don't know the improvements. We don't know the rework. And until we know that, would you spend? But I do think there's a good opportunity to save now and grab something good maybe early next year. If Radiant Store gets adapted, has additions, maybe she's a buff. We'll have to see. Anyway, that's been it for the video. What are your thoughts on Radiance farming it and hoarding it? Put it in the comments. I'll see you soon. Bye.